Hello and welcome to Reading Reddit. And this is one thing that I found really interesting here. And it's about former homeschooler begs parents not to homeschool their kids. If you think you'll be a good teacher, you're wrong. And I think that this definitely ties on with a lot of people who think that being a teacher is just regurgitating facts. In fact, it is incorrect, especially in the state of New York. You're pretty much not gonna go too far unless you get a master's degree. Like it feels that way too. So let's take a look at what our she like. It's likely a woman. She says it's insane to me that anyone thinks this is a good idea. If you think that you can do a better job by yourself than the entire public school system, you're wrong. You can't. If you think you'll have time during this day to homeschool your kid and do your housework, cooking, errands, you're wrong. You won't. If you think you'll be a good teacher, you're wrong. You won't. How's your knowledge of seventh grade level math? Oh, you're 34 and went to college, so it should be easy, right? Again, you're wrong. You are not an educator. And let me pause to say that educators often have to go through many years of training to learn the new updated skills and all of that. Like they in New York State, you have to do a lot of PD hours to keep your degree. And I don't know how it is in other states, but I know New York, we do not have reciprocity with 30 other states just for feels and giggles. If you have depression or ADHD, absolutely do not homeschool your kids. If you think it's okay for a mom to homeschool her kids and sleep all day, 3 times a week, you're wrong and you're stupid. Finally, and this is the most important one, kids don't want to be homeschooled. Your kids don't want to be with you all day, sorry. Right now, I have 9 missed calls from my mom. Want to know when I plan on calling her back? I'll tell you. Fricking never. Now, let me also state that a big reason why homeschooling is a big thing, especially in a lot of religious households, is because they don't want the children to learn anything that is outside of their belief system. Then we're going to get to the comments. Academically, we are equipped to handle homeschooling. We're both trained teachers. Socially, we already see how timid our 2-year-old is in social situations with his peers. It would be a disservice to him to keep him from developing the social skills learned in school. From a family standpoint, I also think it's important to have a separation between teachers and parents. When you're annoyed with your teachers, it's healthy to vent to parents. When a mom and dad don't understand you, it's important to have other adults to look to as potential role models. My next door neighbors homeschool their children and they have zero social skills. I'm actually pretty concerned for them. Anytime my kid or myself try to say hello to them, they say nothing and look at their mother to answer for them. It's creepy. I wonder what the yachts is going on over there. Alarming Sorbet says, my neighbor who was a teacher homeschools her kid and she's doing an amazing job. While I agree that it's not for everyone, her kids are safe and thriving. 2/3 of them have severe allergies and the schools couldn't promise he wouldn't have a reaction to cross-contamination. Caffeinated depression, I guess, says I was homeschooled, and thank you for saying this. I begged and pleaded to go to public school, but I was never allowed. I never had any social interactions outside of my family and church. I obviously was very shy and nervous growing up. My parents ended up having 6 more kids after me. By the time I was in 4th grade, I was in charge of my own education, as well as grading my younger sister's homework. My mother was not given the resources or any type of guidance on education whatsoever. My parents solely just didn't want me to learn about evolution or get into the wrong crowd. I moved out at 18 and thank God I did. I educated myself, left the church, and began teaching myself how to make friends and be a functioning member of society. I am now 24 and it's not easy. I am a manager at my current job. With how I was raised and everything, it makes my job difficult. It's hard to relate to my coworkers. I struggle having a backbone, and my battery after work is non existent. It's a struggle. I will never not be somewhat by my upbringing. Oh my. So I am glad that this person talked about homeschooling and the fact and that there were instances where homeschool worked, and unfortunately most of the instances are religiously motivated and do not want to prepare your child for the world but to continue into the religion. And while I understand that religion is a very personal thing, um, it shouldn't be used as a weapon to just stifle other people. Unfortunately, a lot of people who have had religious family members, a lot of the girls did not go to college because they thought that women should only be homemakers, and that's totally wrong. So, anyway, thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Reading Reddit. I thought that this was something a little different to offer, and I hope that you are appreciative of it. I'll try to find the actual subreddit that this came on. It'll pop up down here. But I really want to know like what this maybe I don't know if it was a true I don't think it's true off my chest, but this was a good one. All right, talk to you soon. Have a great day.